Good evening, you legends. So, as I say, yeah, we're back. My internet is back on. It was a rough couple of days when I had no internet whatsoever, so I couldn't do a book club last Wednesday or a motivation and mind hacks on Monday. Oh no, last Wednesday I was in a voiceover session. That's why I couldn't do that. I was stuck in Media City. I was doing a voiceover where the director is from LA, so to make sure he didn't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning or something stupid, we stayed late. So apologies for that, but we are back. It's 9 p.m. just gone here on a Wednesday night, which means it's time for a book club, a live book club. And tonight we're looking at a book that you'd be like, what's this got to do with anything? Because it's a little bit different, but this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. Richard from Miami, hello on Facebook. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Something I'm really passionate about because this effectively just completely set me free, and it really got me out of a massive rut in my life to enable me to focus more on my acting career. And that was effectively building a business outside of my acting career. Mine is kind of like alongside it in terms of Acts on This, what I do here, these broadcasts, Bulletproof Actor, which launches tomorrow, incidentally. Go to bulletproofactor.com if you want to get involved with that. My kind of side hustles all tie into the acting industry, but by building businesses outside of my immediate acting career, I was able to generate income that set me free from that bullshit job that I used to have to do in the Trafford Centre, a shopping mall that we have near me. See, I said mall there for you, Tony, as opposed to shopping centre. And yeah, it kind of enabled me to begin focusing more on my acting career because I didn't have to spend 40 hours a week in those four walls hating my life. Now, Gary Thomas, good evening. Now, I know there's a lot of people here who are going to be like, how on earth do I set up a business online? Do I do something like this? And I'm not saying anybody does something like this or anything to do with the acting industry necessarily per se. What I am saying is that everybody, and I promise you by reading this book to you, right, I'm going to read you the intro to this book tonight, you're going to have a little bit of an epiphany to go, shit, you know what? I can do something online. I can earn at least some form of income from doing some kind of side hustle online and building a personal brand around me and, something that I'm passionate about that might not just be acting. I promise you it's possible. And the book we're looking at is an awesome book. It's just come out a couple of weeks ago. It's called Crushing It by a massive business mentor of mine, a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk. I know a few people on here know Gary. I know you will, Tony. You'll know of Gary V. Fanny, I'm sure you follow Gary V. Caroline said that would be nice. Caroline, I swear it's possible. And you're going to hear on here, I want to open people up to an industry that I don't think many of you know much about. And it's a massive part of my life. It's the whole reason I do the vlog. I do Watch Ross. It's the reason that I'm getting much more focused on Instagram and social media platforms. I've just heard his interview with Lewis Howes. Great interview, absolutely. And this is about, so Crushing It is the book that he talks about with Lewis, Tony. And Crushing It is a follow-up to a book Gary did a few years ago in 2009 called Crush It. And that was about building a personal brand online to enable you to earn money. And basically, this is the follow-up that documents people who have crushed it. So people who followed up from, did the things in his 2009 book and have now built brands online and are getting paid through those, through that presence they have online. And this is an introduction to how you guys can do that too. And don't think, oh, I'm not a 21-year-old sports model, so I can't have an Instagram account that's popular. It's not about that, Your Instagram account doesn't have to have anything to do with your acting career or anything like that at all. There are people who have created massive Instagram, Twitter followings, Facebook pages that earn them, sometimes seven figures. We're talking millions of dollars. But I want to look more realistically to go, how can we all earn at least, an extra $3 or $4 grand a year? If you're just like thinking you can't do this, you can, to subsidize your acting kind of income as well. You don't have to be one of those fitness models or anything stupid like that. There are people who have built pages really successfully on all kinds of things, like, people who are new mums going, right, I'm going to build a page all about being a new mum, basically, and, tips for mums, etc. See people do it with, like, knitting and stuff. Honestly, crazy things like that. Not that knitting's crazy. I don't know, growing things, fruit and veg, nothing illegal. There's pages and pages and pages. Yoga's a big one. That people have created and have ended up with tens of thousands of followers that they can then monetize by basically brands coming to them and paying them to post things on their social media, etc. It's possible for everyone in here, I swear, to start a little side hustle off. And I'm going to read you the beginning of this first chapter in Gary's book, Crushing It. I'm going to get the paper. I've got it on my Kindle down here. I'm going to get the paperback version. It's coming tomorrow, but I didn't have it in time for tonight. Really want to put out writing courses this year, says Gary. Yeah, exactly, Gary. You create some kind of personal brand around writing and a community around other writers who want to come together and help each other. You don't need to be the authority. Act on this effectively. It's not me going, I'm the authority on all of this. It's me creating a community around the acting industry going, I'm on this journey as well. Who's with me? Do you all want to kind of, come along? We'll all help each other out. And in the meantime, whilst we're on that journey, I'll bring guests in and they'll talk to us about how we can be more successful. That's all I've done. Don't think, I'm not an expert, so I can't do this. It's not about that at all. So, Corey, good evening. I'm going to start off here. Gary says, look, I can't do anything to make you more creative, but I hope that I can put you in the right frame of mind so that when you're ready to unleash that creativity, you will succeed. We're often told we have to make a choice, settle and do something tolerable to make money, or follow our passion with the expectations that we will be poor. And so many actors are told, go and do that. Go and, follow your passion. But, if it's anything that's artistic, you're going to be poor. There's this whole thing where actors, I think, get addicted to that a little bit, and the romantic nature of going, I'm suffering for my art. Bullshit. Who wants to suffer for their art? You want to earn money out of it. That's what you want to be doing, so you can actually do it for a living. So he says there are still people out there who believe that it's a rare person who loves his or her job, and that's bullshit. Our choices are infinite when we understand today's digital environment as our opportunities. We just have to find the courage to reach out and make them. You're going to hear the stories of people who were scared just like you, who had obligations just like you, who were told they were being foolish or reckless or irresponsible or immature. They did it anyway and reaped the rewards. If there's anything this book should teach you, it's that the only thing stopping you from achieving lasting career and life happiness is you. And it just ties into sort of everything we've ever spoken about on these broadcasts. But let's have a look at this chapter 1. It's called Get Pumped, right? And the path is all yours. And this is ultimately a little bit of a background on Gary, on a little bit about his previous book, Crush It. You don't want to get that one now. It's old. Get Crushing It is the latest one. And then some ideas of how you could begin to build a personal brand around something you are passionate about that will earn you some income. And it even goes into the actual numbers you can expect to earn based on the following that you have. And you can start earning based on just 1,000 followers on Instagram, because a lot of big brands want to pay people. So they would rather pay 10 accounts that have 10,000 followers than one account that has 100,000 followers, because those 10,000 followers of each of those 10 accounts are going to be more engaged with that person. You can have 1 million followers, but how many of those followers are going to be actually engaged with your content, follow you, like you? Everyone will follow Justin Bieber, etc., etc. But how many people actually were just following because it's like, everyone follows him, so I'll just follow him? You can get some really deep engagement with people who have smaller followings. Thus, brands want to work with those people because although they don't have as many, as big an audience, the audience they do have are really engaged with what that person is putting out. So it starts off, it says, the path is all yours, right? The promise of my first business book, Crush It, was to teach entrepreneurs how to monetize their passion by using social media to build a strong personal brand to attract customers and advertisers to their websites, as well as transform them into trusted experts or entertainment figures, i.e. actors, experts or entertainment figures that brands and outlets would pay them to talk, consult, or attend events. In other words, it was all about building a personal brand around your business strong enough to make you an influencer. And yet the word influencer doesn't appear once in his book. He says the multi-billion-dollar influencer marketing industry was still so new at the time, the concept hadn't been crystallized. So in 2009, when Gary wrote that book, influencer marketing, i.e. people on Instagram and Twitter with shitloads of followers who could get paid to put things out to their followers, was so new in 2009, didn't have a word for it. Today, it's a multi-billion-dollar market, and it's called influencer marketing, okay? Let's have a look. The concept hadn't crystallized when the book was published in 2009, and yet today, influencer marketing is poised to eat a real chunk of traditional marketing's lunch. Younger consumers spend increasingly less time on traditional media and more time consuming content online. When was the last time anyone read a newspaper? Where I can't even remember last time I picked up a newspaper. But this is the thing people need to realise as well, guys, particularly in the acting industry as well. It's all relevant to you. I swear, like, TV is dying. It just is. Traditional media is dying. It's all coming online. Netflix and Amazon will kill BBC and ITV eventually. That's just the way that it's going. It really is. And distributing yourself online as an actor, putting your material online, has never been easier. What would have cost you thousands and thousands years ago to distribute your stuff, now, effectively, you can do for free on YouTube and Vimeo, etc. Anyone read a newspaper? I don't know, no one's putting any comments in here, but it's not non-traditional, traditional media, effectively, is on the way out, guys. Here's some stats here. YouTube's daily viewership is closing in on TV's 1.25 billion hours per day, as television viewership falls every year. 1 in every 5 minutes spent on mobile is spent on Facebook's apps and services. So Facebook's apps, and that might include Instagram, because Facebook own Instagram as well. 1 in every 5 minutes spent on a phone is based on Facebook. If you're not putting yourself out on Facebook, you're missing out on big attention. Every minute, 65,900 videos and photos are posted on Instagram. That's mental, innit? And people are telling me, oh, Instagram's not relevant for me as an actor. 65,900 videos and photographs are posted on Instagram per minute of the day. And over 3 billion snaps are created each day on Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat. It's big in the States. It's kind of not the right market for me here in the UK, particularly, I don't think. But it's another big one depending on what your side hustle would be. You can be an actor whose side hustle is something completely unrelated to acting. Consequently, since 2009, brands have tripled the amount of money they spend on social media. With the explosion in the number of social networks available to anyone who wants to amass an audience and vast sums of money being redirected towards those networks, influencer marketing has become a legitimate monetization strategy for anyone building an online profile, which means pretty much anyone in business. And as an actor, you are in business, right? You're the CEO of your own company. How legitimate, Gary asks? Well, the top grossing YouTubers earned a combined $70 million in 2016. Many fit a certain type, all right? And you're going to go, oh, I can't be a YouTuber because it's for kids and 14-year-olds. Listen to this, right? Many do fit a type. You've got like the gamer dudes, for example. He says, but Lily Singh is a rapper/comedian who features Punjabi culture in the videos. Just a comedian, There's comedians in here. Fanny, you're a bit of a comedian, aren't you? Put all your videos, out there. You're doing the right thing, trying to build a brand around it. It says here, Rosanna Pansino is a baker, and Tyler Oakley is an LGBT activist. In the past, the top grossing list has also included dancing violinist Lindsay Sterling and makeup artist Michelle Phan. The most popular Instagrammers can earn 7 figures per year from their social media efforts alone. Even with only 1,000 followers, an entry-level Instagrammer could earn about $5,000 per year with just 2 posts a week. And 10,000 followers could net almost $20,000 per year. Again, that's with just 2 posts per week. Imagine the earnings if that Instagrammer posted more frequently. Let's think about that. The median salary for US employees is about $51,000. You can earn that as an office manager, or you can earn the same amount running your own business built around something you love more than anything else in the world. Want to play it safe? You can work as an office manager, right? And this is the thing I think that some people might want to do in the acting community, right? You can work your day job, so you can work an office manager, go home, and then earn an extra $10,000 a year, in influencer marketing. Or, if there is people who are like, you know what, I really enjoy gaming. You might have heard of a service called Twitch, where basically you just film yourself playing computer games. Well, people watch the screen of you playing computer games. You comment on it, effectively. People watch it. You can monetize that with adverts, and it's just massive. Chris Stone, the director, he ended up using Twitch and doing really well on Twitch. Just playing computer games, doing something that he loves. And that's not going to earn you millions and millions and millions, because there's a lot of people doing it unless you are incredible. But if you're just looking to earn an extra couple of $1,000, couple of £1,000 a year, everybody can do this. Let's have a look. Or, he said, you can use YouTube to share insanely cool science experiments, or post pictures on Instagram of your pet hedgehogs wearing tiny hats. These are all things people have done. Thanks to the proliferation of platforms and the migration of TV and magazine viewers to the internet, there's room for many, many more experts and personalities to create a lucrative, sustainable ecosystem that promotes and grows their business or even side hustles. It's a great time to be a fashion model, for example. Anyone fancy themselves as a model on the side as well as acting? I don't know. It's never been for me, really. It says, but there was a time, and this applies to actors as well, though, when there was room for only a handful of superstars to see themselves featured in editorial fashion spreads and on the runways. Then there were maybe 1,000 in the middle getting steady commercial work in print and TV. The rest found themselves at the bottom, scraping by, doing catalogue and promotional work. So for actors, that would be like the top one's doing film, middle one's doing a little bit of TV, bottom one's doing some commercials and a bit of, unpaid theatre or low-paid theatre or whatever. That's kind of how it used to be. But the internet has opened a floodgate of opportunity for anyone willing to hustle to grow a fan base through blogs and video channels to attract the attention of thousands, hundreds of thousands of brands eager to spend money supporting popular, fashionable people by branded content and advertising. That's in the modelling world, okay? We're not talking like you have to be fashionable to do it in different worlds. Not only that, people blessed, if you were a model, blessed with model looks, or even just blessed with angle and filter savvy, as in terms of like you can just get yourself on a nice filter from a decent angle. They don't have to actually model to get paid anymore. The huge shift in attention to social media means that beautiful people are no longer beholden to the magazines or talent agencies or anyone really to make money off their looks. They can look fabulous every day on their own platforms while engaging with a steadily growing audience, and brands will come begging for exposure. Just ask Brittany Xavier. It says see chapter 13, so we'll probably hear about her later on. Ultimately, what it's saying is like, and this is what I've been saying for such a long time, people are like, there are no longer like just opportunities with gatekeepers in this industry. There's so many opportunities for you as an actor or a performer or a model or a writer or a producer or a director or just whatever. You don't have to have permission now from the big networks in order to build a following and get your stuff seen. I don't know if you remember Vine, the little 10-second videos, those Vines. Anyone remember Vine? They were like, people did loads of comedy on Vine. Because you can only do a video for 10 seconds. So you had to be very, very creative. Twitter ended up buying Vine. I think it was owned by Vine, and they closed it down a few years ago. There were guys earning millions of dollars through doing 10-second Vines. There's rumours now, and I think what's happening is Vine 2 is coming back. Dapper Laughs got famous on Vine, said Fanny, there you go. He also got into a bit of trouble, didn't he, Dapper Laughs? But Vine 2 is on its way. I don't know what Twitter are going to do with it, but if you're a comedian and you can make people laugh within 10 seconds, build a big following on Vine, again, you're laughing. Well, you're laughing because you're a comedian, but you're earning money on your own terms and you're not begging casting directors for jobs. Fanny says yes with 3 capital letters. It says, we often define an influencer as someone who garners such a big audience on social media that brands offer to pay that person to attend events, take selfies with products, or talk about services. Brands have paid the famous people of the internet billions of dollars to be their endorsers, sponsors, promoters, and product placers. Product placement is a natural fit with YouTube, for example, and the Instagram crowd, but it can leave the motorcycle king bloggers or Raspberry Jam Queen podcasters. Those who might not wait. So he's saying for the Instagram crowd, right? Product placement might be good, but it can leave the Motorcycle King bloggers or Raspberry Jam Queen podcasters, if you're podcasting about Raspberry Jam, those who might not feel photogenic or charismatic enough for constant selfies or video, feeling as if their options for growing their influencer and their influence and building revenue streams are limited to selling ad space. So he's saying, for those who don't think they're beautiful and good looking and can't just sell things off their looks, they might do something that they think is still valuable. It can leave them feeling a little bit in the dark, like, oh, well, product placement, I do a podcast on babies or whatever, I do a podcast on motorbikes or something like that, and I'm not beautiful, so who's going to pay me? Gary says, I'm here to tell you they are not. You just have to be smart and strategic about how you use your content. He says, look, I've been paid to write books and speak on national and international stages, and I've earned enough to make this kind of the kind of investments that could pay out for generations. However, I have not made one penny because an energy drink company paid me to say, this is my secret to working 18 hours a day. I'm an entrepreneur who built a $150 million media company, in part because of my personal brand, which I developed by first creating valuable content that grew my influence. That's one way to crush it, by all means, though. It says go ahead and make money over time by running ads on that, for example. But he says, but as your star rises, you could get paid $10,000 for placing a candy bar on your table while you work. But for God's sake, don't stop there. That's where you start. Don't leave money on the table because you don't realize how much bigger you can get. How big? The internet is an entrepreneur's oyster, and you can use its pearly platform to build a personal brand so powerful that the world is not only willing to pay you for your products or services or to promote other people's products and services, but also it might even be willing to pay you to just be you. And that's something I think people forget. They're like, so what I'm doing on the vlog for Watch Ross, and it's not massive, you get like 500 viewers a week or something. It's growing though, steadily. It's just me being me. We're not creating content for it and going, how do we be dead funny and how do we do all this stuff? We're just basically getting Lee to follow me around with a camera and go, right, I'm going to an audition, or I'm going to a voiceover, or I'm going to London to this event or whatever. I'm going to go and speak at Surviving Actors like I did at the weekend. Film it. And if I can build, decent following from that, and monetize that YouTube channel then for basically just being me, then it's just easy, isn't it? You don't have to be clever. I think people get so confused about this by thinking they've got to create stuff rather than just document themselves being themselves. So yeah, don't kind of overthink that. He says, I want you to think of yourself as tomorrow's newest star. You, the entrepreneur, are no different from the organic mac and cheese brand that branches out into cheddar cheese, crackers, and chicken noodle soup. The brand was never about organic mac and cheese. It was about organic comfort food. You're the expectant mum who starts a pregnancy podcast and then writes a book on raising kids suffering from anxiety. You're the home cook with a beautiful Instagram stream who starts a podcast on canning and gets invited to write a column about urban gardening in a national magazine. You're the boy who started a wine blog that wasn't actually about wine, but was about making a name for himself as the person who could show other businesses better ways to communicate and sell. The home cook's Instagram isn't about food, but about building her influence in the healthy lifestyle category. The mum's podcast on pregnancy is just the patty part of a parenthood burger. Your personal brand can get you all the fixings you want. It's outsized importance in today's business world means stardom is no longer limited to the most beautiful or telegenic amongst us. The field is open to many, many, many more players. It also means that most entrepreneurs still have lots of room to ratchet up their game to become influencers. I'm watching you out there, and it's shocking to me how many entrepreneurs trap themselves into boxes of their own making, even though they have so much more power than they did before. Let's say you're killing it on Twitter. What are you going to do the day you realise you're tired of Twitter? What are you going to do if Twitter disappears? What if you're the country's favourite beekeeper and you develop a deadly allergy to bees? It's a matter of survival to think beyond your current successes and constantly look for ways to create new ones so that you're never limited to any one platform. What he's saying there is you've got to be building on multiple platforms at the same time. So, for instance, if you become huge on Twitter and you go, right, I've done it, I've got my 10,000 followers on Twitter, I'm making an extra $1,000 a month in promoing stuff or whatever, and then suddenly Twitter change their terms and conditions, or they change something about it, and, they close it down. Let's just say, the worst case scenario, then you're like, shit, like, I've kind of got no other platform now. So that's why Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, if you can, do it all. And I know that's like massive. People are like, I don't have time to do all of this. You don't have to do it all at once. I certainly haven't. But yeah, he's saying basically don't, put yourself in a box. And actors do that as well in many respects as well. They can very much kind of like just be trapped only, I don't know, not targeting just like a couple of casting directors, not being willing to, kind of branch out. They stay with one agent forever, trap themselves in a box like that. You've just got to, think a little bit, a little bit bigger and just spread your seed far and wide, basically. So let's have a look. We've got, I'm just going to skip on a little bit, but he says personal brands are for everyone. I know this is kind of a new thing, I guess, for a lot of people. And a lot of people will be like, well, I don't do business, I don't do online kind of stuff. But I just want to open people's eyes to the fact that everyone has something. You all probably have other passions where you're like, you know what, if I could create like an online group around that and I could monetize it, that would be really cool. If I could, do something that I like, I make great cakes or whatever, and if I could just start an Instagram account out where I just basically take loads of pictures of my cakes, that could lead to so many other things. You could end up, A, selling a shitload of your cakes. B, when you get such a following, other people who make cake ingredients would want you to include them in your recipes and pictures, so you get paid for that. You might end up writing a column in a magazine or a newspaper based on that. If you started blogging online about it, you could vlog recipes, you could film yourself baking. God, it could become massive. And you're just doing something that you actually enjoy, not doing a shit job, doing something you actually enjoy, earning money out of it, and then you can go to auditions and attack your acting career in your own time, doing whatever you want. You don't need to worry about asking your boss for time off. Fanny says, feel overwhelmed by it. You can't, not Fanny, that was Caroline. You can feel overwhelmed by all of this, and I don't want to overwhelm people. Basically, I just want to get people to think about something else in the life, or it could even be acting. If you just want to go, all I want to concentrate on is acting, but I want to create something around acting. You could certainly create something, around the industry if you wanted. I did. That's exactly what I've done. But I just want people to think of things that they are passionate about that isn't acting and go, you know what, if I could get paid to do something else that would enable me to have the freedom to go to auditions whenever I want, as opposed to being at the mercy of just a boss, what would that be? Anyone got any ideas? Let me know. I'm just interested in, hear what's going through people's heads. Gary said he wants to create writing courses, which I think is great. I think that's awesome, Gary, because that's something that you really enjoy, man. And there's a lot of writers out there. There's a YouTube channel where they just unbox toys, get thousands of views. Gary, there's a YouTube channel where a lad and his dad, right, and this is crazy, right? All right, Bobby. A lad and his dad, all they do, they earn 7 figures a year out of this because they get so many views on their YouTube channel and so much advertising. Do you know what they do? We're talking over $1 million a year, and do you know what they do? See if anybody can have a little guess. Fanny says she wants to do and be everything, and that's the issue. Yeah, so you definitely need to kind of focus a little bit more on a couple of things. I think you can do 2 or 3 things. My trouble is I want it all right now. This is Caroline. It's organic. It's got to be grown organically. This lad and his dad, do you know what they do? They cut things in half. That's all they do. So they literally get a chainsaw and cut things in half on YouTube. Last video I saw of theirs was them cutting a bowling ball in half. Because people are like, what's inside a bowling ball? Oh, I'm just going to cut it in half. What's inside a tennis ball? What's inside a football? They've gone through every ball on the planet. What's inside a squash ball? And then they just get other things and just cut it in half. There's YouTube channels where people crush stuff. And they film it in a really high frame rate. And then they slow the camera down. Caroline says she's seen them. Yeah. So you can see things being crushed at like super, super slow motion. And it is a little bit disheartening sometimes because you go, wow, these are getting millions and millions of hits and a load of money. I'm trying to create really meaningful content that's going to help people, and I'm getting a few hundred hits. What's going on there? But that's the market. They've not done it with a human being yet, Fanny. No, they've definitely not done it with a human yet. Although they did do that on a TV program not long ago. Well, a few years ago, like a live autopsy. It was a bit weird. But yeah, you can create channels, vlogs, Instagram accounts on literally anything. The thing that stops people so often is actually themselves and overthinking it. If there's something that you're like, you know what, that'd be funny, I'm going to try that. You should just be trying it. Because this is a real industry, like a real big industry that's only going to get better. One thing that's going to get more and more popular is audio, guys. Is podcasts, because people, audio is buying people their time back. You can listen to something and learn whilst you're doing another task. Anyone got an idea for a podcast? Anyone ever thought, I'd love to do a podcast? Because it's so freaking simple. I could help anybody learn how to, I could help anybody, with a podcast, get it up online. I've still not read that script you sent, Bobby. I will read that. Sounds very weird, interesting. But as soon as I've got the Bulletproof launch out the way, mate, and I'm back to normal, I'll have time for that. I love Desert Island Disc, says Caroline. But yeah, there's people could create a podcast on anything, and that's again dead easy to do. And you could do it with a friend. You could go, right, what are we both passionate on? Oh, well, we're both passionate, like I say again, about baking or something, or anything. I'd love to do one on mental health. You could do a podcast on mental health. Yeah, you could do that, Fanny, if you wanted. But you could do a podcast on anything. Get a friend in and just have a chat and record it. Whack it up on iTunes. Publicise it a bit. People love podcasts, and they're only going to get bigger with the introduction now of Amazon Alexa and Google Home and Apple Home, the voice activated stuff that will be soon running your entire houses. Podcasts are just going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. So you could start a podcast off. But yeah, ultimately, he says, listen, personal brands are for everyone. Strategically developing a personal brand through social media works brilliantly for creatives, as proven by the high number of photographers, artists, actors, and musicians who offer to share their stories for this book when I put the call out for submissions. However, it can work for anyone in any industry who wants to put in the hustle. You no longer have to toil incognito behind someone else's name or logo until you hold enough cred to strike out on your own. Of course you can, and many do, often to build up their knowledge, life experience and savings accounts before taking that entrepreneurial leap. Several of the people interviewed for this book said that the experience and skills they gained in their former jobs, even the ones they hated, were essential to helping them become the entrepreneurs they are today. And I agree with that, because me working in that hellhole of a job in the Trafford Centre really made me appreciate that actually, there's got to be more to life and I've got to get out of it. So I'm very, very glad that I did it, because it helped me become, the entrepreneur that I am today. But yeah, ultimately they are for everybody, basically. I just want people to really think about what they could do. Gary, I've not read. Did you send me your book? Gary said, read my book yet? No, I haven't, mate. Definitely haven't either. I've not got a second for any of that, but I will do, definitely, at some point, man. I've got to read Bobby's scripts and Gary's book. I will find time, I swear. But yeah, I don't know. I hope this is helping. What we'll do over the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna pull out the case studies in here of the closest examples to us lot, of people who are artists, performers, musicians, comedians, and just kind of read the case studies out of here of how they built what they have built and what they're earning from it. And like I say, I'm not promising anybody in here going, you can build an Instagram account with 2 million followers. I'm not saying that, I'm saying that you can start earning money as a micro influencer on Instagram and Twitter from 1,000 followers up. Even if you're just getting sponsorship. So for instance, this microphone, those who are watching me live now or on the replay and the video replay, I didn't pay for this. Rode Microphones gave me and do give me an allowance every single year to get audio equipment from them in exchange for promo, banners on the website, articles I write on the website, and they feature like a little splash screen at the start of the videos and at the end of my vlog. And that's not, I don't just do that because I'm like, I want some free stuff. They're a cracking brand. Like, seriously, this isn't because they give me this stuff. I bought loads of their kit before they even started sponsoring the site. But I was like, this is mutually beneficial. I love your stuff. I already work with it all. I've got a community where there's a load of actors who would like to get into, voiceover or maybe podcasting or, creating their own stuff. They're going to need audio equipment. I will gladly promote your stuff in terms of recommending it. And in exchange, I get some free stuff. That's influencer marketing. And I haven't got a massive following at all. Look at my Instagram account. I've got less than 1,000 followers. I'm just about to breach 1,000 followers because I'm focusing on it. My goal for this year is 10,000 followers by Christmas. But yeah, you don't have to think, I've got to get some huge, huge accounts. You don't. You just need to start being consistent and putting out some interesting content that doesn't have to be perfect and super pro. But you just need to start putting it out on these platforms across multiples so you don't get stung if one of them, suddenly changes or goes under. Not that I don't think Instagram's got any chance of that because it's owned by Facebook. And you will start profiting in some way, Everybody's got the capacity. Ruth say, all right, Ruth, how you doing? You did send me, Gary said he sent me his book ages ago. I will look at it, Gary, I swear, mate. I swear, I'll definitely. But is anyone here I don't know, remotely, is it piqued their interest at all to go, maybe I could do something like this? I'm just interested. Because I will, like I say, over the next couple of weeks, I will pull out the case studies out of here. And we'll find, people. Let me just have a little flick through. Literally just got this book this afternoon. Extremely interested, says Fanny. It's right up your street, this, Fanny, because of the content that you do. And, I noticed you've recently done the Patreon thing. It's piquing Caroline's interest a little bit as well, she says. Let's see if I can just quickly skip through some of these and see. Oh, there you go. How I'm crushing it. Lewis Howes, School of Greatness. Lewis Howes is just absolutely insane. The guy basically 3-4 years ago was sleeping on his sister's couch and went, right, I'm going to create a podcast where I just interview successful people. Just that's it. That was the whole premise behind it. I'm going to go out and find successful people. I'm just going to interview them. And he did, and he called it the School of Greatness. And the podcast now gets something like 2 million downloads a month. The guy's a multi-millionaire because he gets invited to speak here, there, and everywhere. Big speaking figures. Runs multiple mastermind kind of things, online business coaching. And the guy appears on shows like Ellen in the States, which is just massive. It took him 4 years to build it, and he's just, he's an ex-American football player. He's crushing it. It's crazy. It's absolutely possible. And he just basically had an idea, right, I'm going to interview people. You could go out and interview if you've got a niche, maybe you're a photographer on the side. You're like, right, I'm going to start a photography podcast where I basically find local photographers who are all earning money full-time as photographers, and we're going to interview them all to figure out, how, what we're doing is working, and, we're going to educate other photographers on creating successful photography businesses. Create a podcast on that, shitloads of photographers listen to it, create an Instagram account around that, and then suddenly what happens, all the companies want to throw camera gear at you, want to pay you, sponsor you, all kinds of stuff. It's like, this is like legit. Who else have we got here? Lauren Evans, what does she do? The Skinny Confidential, what's that? Lauren is the willowy, sassy bombshell behind and in front of the lifestyle site, The Skinny Confidential. It's just a lifestyle website, don't know what that's about. But her story's in here. Does anyone here actually blog at all? Gary says, yes, definitely interested, and Sam says she's totally interested. Sam, got a small child, you could definitely do... The whole mummy space is just freaking insanely massive in terms of babies and mums and, the working mum and kind of, balancing a career with a baby. Create a group up around that, and a community around that. People just flock to stuff like that. Never blogged. Tony blogs, apparently this is funny, but Caroline's never blogged. If you don't want to set up a website, guys, you should go and check out. Say you're like, I'd like to write and share my thoughts and stuff, but I don't have a website or anything like that. Go and have a look at Medium. Medium's becoming a massive thing as well. And you can write some articles on Medium, and then you can, share them out to the world, and they get syndicated, and there's loads of opportunity there. I couldn't think of creating anything worse than a mum blog. Funny. Depends what people are into, but it's a huge niche. It's absolutely massive. As is, so many things like that you see these days. There was a what was it called? There was a smoothie. Two girls who called a brand. I've got the book somewhere. Let me see what this book is here. One sec. Got it. Here you go. Simple green smoothies. Literally, it's no more complex than that. This is a book with recipes of simple green smoothies in. These girls started off just taking pictures of green smoothies that they were making on Instagram. That's all they were doing. They never planned to have a book and a big website all about it. Their Instagram thing, grew so big because they did a 30-day challenge where they were like, right, we're going to do a 30-day challenge, and here's the ingredients for this smoothie, and you're going to have one every day for 30 days, and initially they're going to start off quite sweet with fruit in, and we're going to get you by the end to be drinking and enjoying pretty much green vegetable smoothie by the end of it, so you're super healthy. 30-day challenge, they got everyone to opt in on Instagram, thousands of people did. It got so popular, their Instagram account, that then publishers just basically came to them and went, right, do you want to publish a book? We'll just pay you, 6 figures to publish a book. This is just where the world is going. Honestly, the traditional media like TV, radio, etc., newspapers, it's just losing its power. Everything is going to online, and everyone here has got the opportunity to have a piece of that if they get in early enough. And it's still very much early enough. I used to blog, said Ruth. Check out Medium, Ruth. You definitely want to check that out. I think I'm going to start publishing some Medium posts. on some stuff, either business acting or, stuff that I do. I think that's an interesting platform. It's already big, but it's going to become bigger. There's a chapter on the book here, just looks at called Patience. Big part of this is patience. There's a guy with a clothing company that he's made. I mean, I've just done that. Literally, just created a clothing company over the last 6 months out of nothing. Something I just always wanted to do. Just basically found somebody who was doing it and went, right, come on, let's go in 50-50 on this business and we'll do it. And that's exactly what we've done. We're going to build our brand exclusively via Instagram and social media. There will be no money going into any other forms of advertising, to be honest with you. It'll all be online. Influencer marketing will be the people who end up paying the people with followings money to wear our t-shirts, take pictures of them, and have other people see them in those t-shirts. If I wanted to do a podcast with someone, do they have to be present in the same room with you? No, not at all, Fanny. So all you would do is I used to do when I first started out and that's on this, I used to do podcasts over Skype. So I would basically dial in on Skype with somebody. As long as you've got a relatively decent microphone. I mean, I'm not talking expensive. You don't need to buy one like this. You can get a relatively decent microphone for like 20 quid, 25 quid. And then you record your Skype call. That's it. You just record your audio from Skype. That in itself is a podcast. It doesn't have to be. People just want to, complicate it and make it really, really complex. And then they get so afraid because they get overwhelmed by the technical aspects of it. And they go, I can't do it. I'm not brainy enough for that. And you are. Just you know what? Everyone here could just Google how to create and publish a podcast. Because guess what? That's what I did. Then upload it to some platform. Yeah, you could upload it to SoundCloud, and then you can publish that for free, effectively, or you can get a podcasting platform. So I use something called Libsyn, which is a premium service, but it depends on how many downloads and stuff you get and whether it's worth it for you. But you could start off for free on SoundCloud, and you can publish via SoundCloud to iTunes. It's relatively straightforward. Again, you just have to Google it. I mean, honestly, none of this stuff is hard. If people can be asked to just Google it, it's dead easy. Just find it. All I've ever done in my business is Google stuff. No one ever taught me any of this, honestly, but all the answers are out there. But I just wanted to sow the seeds initially. As I say, what I'll do for next week is I'll pull out the best case study. I mean, look at this guy. This guy here, Timothy. He basically killed it on Instagram with a kitchen and bath company. Why have I not been doing this, is funny. You haven't. I don't know why you haven't. Because you probably felt overwhelmed by it. It's just simple though, guys. I just want people to do this, and just want people to start earning money for something they actually enjoy. And it takes the pressure off their acting career then. So you walk into auditions not so desperate because you're like, if I don't get it, I'm going to earn some money anyway. And then you just start getting it. Ironically, start getting more work when you don't need the money as much. How I'm crushing it. Who's this guy? A digital architect. He's, creating accounts with architecture. Smashing it on there. How I'm crushing it. Brand with Drew. What's this? My market started on Facebook, then jumped onto Twitter. They got away from Facebook, then jumped onto Instagram. They got away from Twitter, then jumped back into Facebook and Snapchat too. Where the attention goes, so goes Andrew. So that's again saying you basically don't go romantic about your platform. Don't go, oh, but I'm big on Twitter. I can't be bothered starting up on Instagram. It's taking too long. Well, the market is the market is the market. People are no longer paying attention to you on Twitter. It's pointless even having it. Don't get romantically attached to the numbers you have on any platforms. Having 10 engaged followers on Instagram is better than having 10,000 unengaged followers on Twitter. It just is. Basically, don't get your significance from how many people you have following you. It's about how deep that engagement is with them. If there's 10 people there who you've given value to, and they love you and think you're great and you've really helped them, and then when you put something out that you're like, hey guys, support me and buy this book I've just self-published, it's £10. 10 people who really, really admire you are gonna buy that book. You have 10,000 people who don't give a shit about you on Twitter, and you sell no copies of that book. So don't get too attached. Welcome, Nuclear White something or other on Periscope. Probably a robot who's going to start trolling us in a minute. Don't worry about it though if he does. I used to blog. Maybe MS Truth is that, Ruth? MS Truth. Yeah, anyway, that's another thing that's really empowering. anyone who's got a any kind of condition or medical thing, you ain't on your own. I could definitely do some kind of like blog or something around my eye condition, because it's not common, but there's definitely going to be couple of thousand people or so. I don't know what the stats are actually on this. Who have this condition. There is actually a Facebook group I'm part of called RP Truths. Stands for retinitis pigmentosa, the condition I've got. And it's a really funny group where people post stories about like life with RP. So it's like things that you really relate to, like memes there that say when you go out, when you go to get a car in the dark and can't find the door handle. But I mean, that's just something that happens to me all the time. It doesn't sound funny to anybody else, but anyone who's got RP will understand that. If you go and try and get into a car at night time, particularly if the car is a dark colour, it takes you 3 minutes to find the freaking door handle. I'm like, I know it's around here somewhere, but I've no idea where it is. And that's a Facebook group all around those kind of situations that you read it and you're like, it just makes you laugh because you're like, God, I'm not on my own. Again, you can monetize that. She has done. The girl has monetized that with wristbands with funny quotes on and stuff and T-shirts and things. So she can earn money, as a partially sighted person working from home, selling to other partially sighted people and making them laugh. It's brilliant. It's just like everybody should be doing something like that, something to earn money on their own terms. You need a torch on your keyring, said Caroline. I need a torch on my head, Caroline. I need literally a torch strapped to my head anytime I go out at night. Even walking to the gym in the morning is quite hard at the moment because it's so dark at like 10 to 7. But yeah, there's so many stories in here. When I get the paperback, it's going to be easy for me to flick through. And I'm going to bring you... All right, Brian, I'm going to bring you some of these examples that I think you're going to enjoy. But for tonight, I just wanted to kind of introduce you initially to the idea of what that is, what influencer marketing is. And I know... I don't know if if it was that concise, that part of the chapter that I read. Gary can go off on one at times. But you should also check out Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube as well. Watch some of his vlogs. He's great. My dad has a hat that does that. He looks like a coal miner. Yeah, I'd wear one of those coal miners' helmets. That'd be fine. Walk around with one of those, not a problem. So I just wanted to sow those seeds. Like I say, I'll pull out some examples for next week. And before we kind of wrap up tonight, I've still got a few minutes left. I just wanted to, say thank you so much to everybody who's downloaded the Bulletproof Actor mini-series, the video course that I put out last week. The feedback's been literally ridiculous. Let me just show you this. For those who are dubious and I don't know if this is for me or whatever, let me just pull up this, right? This is the place where you get the videos from. You go to bulletproofactor.com now. These are only online until tomorrow morning because the full Bulletproof Actor program comes out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So these free videos go away. But let me just look at some of these comments that are here. These are all genuine, legit comments, and there's over 222 of them at the moment. And just look at the comments. Wow, truly enlightened. Thank you so much, Ross. I had no idea I was holding on to so many little gremlins and giving power to them in my mind. Example, an agent interview, they said I'd find it hard to sell you because you're a bit meh. Not pretty, not ugly, just meh. What kind of constructive feedback is that? That's shit feedback, that, isn't it, really? She said, but I thought I dealt with that, but I honestly didn't realise how much it was still knocking my confidence on still watching your videos. Totally changing my whole way of thinking. Can't wait for the third. Well, the third video's up. Should go and watch that right now. Another girl there. Wow, half hour later and that's gone. That was a limiting belief she had over not being good enough. I pretty much disproved all of them within 5 minutes. I didn't realise I was holding my type 1 diabetes as a limiting belief until you shared your story about retinitis pigmentosa. This is a crazy turnaround. All of these are just the comments are just insane on these videos. Then there's just an absolute shit ton of them. People talking about the limiting beliefs, things that are holding them back in their careers. Then they're watching video 2 and 3 and going, right, well, I'm kind of ready to crush all that because that's bullshit. Powerful video. Thanks, Ross. Can definitely see areas of my life where I can apply this even outside of my acting career. Hundreds of comments. If you want to get those videos before they come down, just go over to bulletproofactor.com now and just get them. Otherwise, they just go and then they don't come back out. I put them in the vault until 2019. The reason I do that is I'm not being horrible. The whole series is about people taking action on their goals. If you can't be asked to go and take action on 3 free videos, forget it. They go back in the vault, and then there's consequences for people not taking action. You'll get them in 2019 if you want to look at them again. For people who want to go super in depth, the full Bulletproof Actor Unstoppable Confidence and Fitness Success program opens tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for those who are actually here live, if you want to get in early, I've got a little as a little treat. Where is it? Here, I think. You can go and join early, you lot, now if you wanted. Basically, I thought I'll put this out now for anybody who's on here to say thank you for all the support. If you want to guarantee yourself a place, particularly on the VIP version of the program, go over to bulletproofactor.com/P/join. It will just be bulletproofactor.com in the morning. But for now, if you want to get in early, bulletproofactor.com/P/join. You can read all about the full program, watch a 15-minute video where I break it all down, check out all the bonuses the first 50 people get when you sign up to the VIP. But at least if you don't do that, just go and get the free videos, because they will change your life, I swear. It's not some bullshit gimmicky nonsense. Claire Jones is in the house. All right, Claire. Just talking about a program I run, Claire. Claire Jones I went to uni with. We were an incredible comedy duo here. Let me jump on the camera. Claire Jones in the house. Great to see you on Facebook. Claire runs some kind of Birmingham-based actors rehearsal group thing. Put it in the comments, Claire, if you want people to know about it. I'll give you a little shout out now. Go get Bulletproof Actor course, guys. It's awesome, says Dawn. It is Dawn. And Dawn was an alumni. She's done it. Caroline says they are good, I remember. Yeah, because I put them out last year in like June, I think. But yeah, they do literally just go back in the vault until, the next year if you don't get them this time. So that's Bulletproof. Yeah, bulletproofactor.com in the morning, or if you want to get in early now, bulletproofactor.com/P/join. Claire says holla. Might do the live calls. Yeah, anyone who's been on a previous intake, more than welcome to do the live calls. I do a little offer for people who want to do the live calls. You don't pay as much, obviously, as the full program again. Fanny says definitely worth investing in yourself and doing the course. You get lifetime access to it as well, so everyone who's already done it can go back and watch the videos anytime they want. Professional Actors Birmingham, it is for Claire Jones. So if you're in Birmingham, I know Tracy on here is based in Birmingham. Professional Actors Birmingham. Is that a Facebook group, Claire? Can people just search for that and find information out about it? Just give us a yes in the comments if they can. Definitely worth doing. Bulletproof Actor, says Gary. Gary's a Bulletproof Actor alumni. It is great. It's just 5 weeks, 5 of the best weeks of my year, taking people through this program, seeing what they're like at the beginning. I get people to do an intro video in the Facebook group to start with, and then when they finish, they do another video, and the difference between the two, it's like a completely different person by the end of it. It's crazy. That's correct. So yeah, so it meets Monday nights. Claire's group, Professional Actors Birmingham, meets Monday nights. Awesome, we're going to love you and leave you, but I'm going to finish off with... Fanny, I did get your email, by the way. I saw your comment before. I'll read it late. I've just had so many things on with my internet going down over the last couple of days. I've only had access to everything again today, so I'm a bit behind, but I will get to that, definitely, when the launch of Bulletproof calms down tomorrow. I'm going to leave people with a trailer, 6-second trailer, for my latest vlog. If you ever get yourself over to YouTube, go and watch it. youtube.com/watch Ross, behind the scenes of my acting career, voiceover career, online business, everything. I went down to Surviving Actors, the acting expo, to speak about mindset and positive psychology on Saturday. We vlogged the whole thing. I will put the whole seminar up online, like a 45-minute seminar. I'll put that up on YouTube as well. But for now, you can see highlights of it over in this episode of the vlog. I'm going to play you a 60-second clip. But yeah, go over youtube.com/watch Ross. Subscribe, because I'm going to be pulling random subscribers out this year and giving away some great prizes. Before Christmas, I gave out a Spotlight subscription for any actors here. I paid for their Spotlight subscription for a year. So I'm going to pull random people out who are subscribers and do stuff like that from them during 2018. So go and subscribe, comment on the videos. Each comment is like an entry into the prize draw when I do it, and you might be, pulled out first. Really great stuff. Ross, thank you. Lots of food for thought, says Sam. It was great to meet you in person, says Gary. Yeah, Surviving Actors was awesome, Gary. I got to meet loads of people who I'd never met in the flesh before, which is brilliant, which is really cool. So you'll see that on the vlog as well. And so just have a think, right, about a business outside your acting career. And the next Wednesday, I'm going to read you some examples of people who have done just that from Gary's book, Crushing It, if you want to go and get it on Amazon. It's a bestseller at the moment. It came out a couple of weeks ago. Here's the 6-second clip. I've been waffling for a while. I'll see you guys very, very soon, all right, on Monday night for Motivation and Mind Hacks. Until then, bye for now. I'm going to use this to my advantage, and I'm going to get in touch with every casting director I can and go, listen, I'm a partially sighted actor. I've got 15 years of sight left. What are we going to do about this? We're going on a road trip or a train trip to London. Getting very cosy on the tube. Too cosy. Everyone's touching us. Here we are, made it, Radisson Blu, surviving actors. Let's go and see who's surviving. Point number 3, it says, when I say I believe, because I don't think a lot of people really get this, what you're actually saying is, I am certain that X is true.
Recently, like following you and like just looking at your bulletproof stuff.
Oh,
and that thing's great.
Emily, you want to get on it? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Trust me, you will never outperform, you will never outachieve, you will never out-earn your belief system.